From New York, it's That Kevin Show.
See, I knew it.
Come on, Kev. What's a few classified documents between friends?
I told you all the time. I knew it. I knew he had some too.
Here he is, That Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to Times Square. Kevin McCullough, glad to have you with us. That Kevin Show, yet to come tonight. More sketch comedy and, of course, the new music spotlight. We'll get into all of this as your weekend unfolds. But we are going to talk some serious stuff for the next little bit. Rejoining me is Jacqueline Toberoff. She is a hardworking mom, best-selling author, and columnist. Please make her feel welcome. Hello, Jacqueline. Welcome back. You have been writing ferociously on your social media and on your Substack, and your columns for Human Events are always so well received. Your book laid out a lot of kind of the rationale for why you do what you do. Supermoms Activated, but you're living it out. New York is a hotbed of mess right now, and whether it's the mayor, whether it's the protests at the colleges, you got your hands full nearly every single day. But this last week, you took on an issue that I don't think most Americans know anything about, and that is the supremacy and the dominance of an Islamic symbol beginning to show up in state capitals all over the country. Tell us what you found out.
So as it stands right now, there are 17 cities and states throughout America that have adopted the prominent Islamic 8-point star, or 8-point seal, as they call it. It is really a one world order under Islamist rule. We are seeing the conquering of American institutions, including big education. They are literally putting in their Islamist flags, but these new flags have a very specific design, and it is really the Pledge of Allegiance to Islam. It's the 8-point Islamic star.
Which is, in essence, two squares laid over each other in alternating ways. So it, and if you don't look carefully, you can confuse it for the Star of David, which is triangles. But the point is, I want people to pay attention to this when they recognize it, because you've been documenting kind of every time a new one is unfurled somewhere. Where did it come from, and why is this phenomenon happening?
Well, my follow-up article is going to be from where I think it is originating. There are various Islamist organizations, some of which have been designated terrorist organizations, and they promise the injection of Islam through non-violence, but through symbols. This is very important. They are winning this without even firing a single shot. And we're seeing the manifestation again at these college campuses. They're putting up Hamas flags and other flags leading up to the latest I saw was a Free Palestine with the 8-point star. It's all over. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
This week at Harvard, they actually took the American flag down and hoisted the Palestinian flag in its place. So it's not, sometimes it's not so subtle. But let me go back to what you just said about the Islamist organizations. Have they actively been petitioning lawmakers in these states or cities to adopt this? How is this going about kind of getting through under everybody's noses?
Well, I'm going through that now, but look, we have been infiltrated on all levels. That is obvious. You heard Mayorkas, someone who was working for him was sympathetic towards Hamas. That is just one example. There are
not sympathetic. A donor,
right.
Someone who had been on the activist payroll for Hamas. I mean, it'd be one thing if you say, well, you know, I kind of see their perspective. It's another thing to write checks and to volunteer time and to give money.
This is right. And that's just one example. There are many. So we have been completely infiltrated on all levels. And look, the commonality here is it is an anti-American, anti-Judeo-Christian. This is not just anti-Israel or anti-Jew. It is fundamentally anti-Judeo-Christian ethos, and it is very much in favor of a one world Islamist order. These flags are all the same design. It is replacing any sort of uniqueness, individuality, and freedom that we cherish here in America.
Some people are hearing this for the first time and they're going to say, come on, Jacqueline, this is just a design. These guys are just coming up with shapes that they want to put on the flags. What's the argument that this is not by accident and it's not by happenstance, but is actually being directed? Are there Islamist groups on the record, for example, as pushing this through in these legislative bodies?
Right now, this is just like 2020 for COVID and learning loss. It is happening. We see it, but we're being told something else. They're gaslighting us. They're saying it's a rose compass, a snowflake, a star. Let me give you some numbers because it is statistically impossible that they all settled upon this 8-point Islamist symbol. In Utah, there were 8,000 design submissions for a new flag. There were 6 finalists. 5 of the 6 finalists all had the 8-point star. What are the chances? Then you go to Minnesota. They had 2,000 flag designs. 5 finalists, 3 finalists had the 8-point star. This is coordinated. These numbers are statistically impossible that they just happened upon this, what they're calling starburst or snowflake or rose compass. No, it's a lie. We see it. This is the exact same symbol on the Iranian, on the city of Tehran in Iran's flag. This is the exact same symbol on the Ottoman Empire's flag. This is the exact same symbol on Iranian military intelligence flag. And it is the same symbol on many Muslim sites, actually on social media.
That is problematic in and of itself, but statistically, what you just described is just call it what it is. It is impossible to be by chance. You said there are 17 jurisdictions, states, and cities thus far. What are the biggest ones that have adopted these symbols on their flags?
Firstly, Minnesota has a new flag with the 8-point star that is going up this May 11. The call to action is to call your state legislature.
That's going to be the state flag.
State flag, 8-point Islamic symbol. Now, one of the Marines who I interviewed in my Substack article, she says she is a trained intelligence warfare. That was what she trained in. And she said, she believes that this is a national security risk. This is really something that we all have to look out for. The call to action, again, call your state legislature, say you want to keep the original city or state flag wherever you're calling from. Specifically, call Minnesota. This is Mary Kunesh who put this through in the legislature. She appointed 13 people to a commission that oversees 5 million plus people in Minnesota. They made the decision, and we need to have it reversed.
So the state legislatures where the state flag is in jeopardy. What about cities that are doing this independent of the state government?
Well, actually, Albany, New York, where I am, is getting ready. They have a submission. Again, 8-point star. There's Hutchinson. There is Wheeling, West Virginia. I mean, the list is.
Why are these states and cities even in need of new flags? Like what is the premise by which they're coming to the people saying our old flag is really terrible, we've got to do a new one, and then the best they can come up with is an Islamic symbol?
Let's go back to Minnesota. The Marine that I interviewed, Donna Bergstrom, she said specifically that the reason why they were adopting a new flag was because the old one was racist and the new one is a reflection of the immigrants, the new immigrants that are coming. Those new immigrants in Minnesota are Somali Muslim.